All right, let's start with this powerhouse story. Tulsi Gabbard, born in a small village, Leloaloa, in American Samoa. Small place, big legacy.
Duke, you see, it's often from small origins that great leadership emerges. A proverb from my home goes, "A stream that forgets its source will dry up." Her roots, her upbringing in Hawaii, surrounded by diverse cultures, that was her foundation. It sparked in her the understanding of service and community.
Right. And let's not forget, after 9/11, she didn't just talk the talk. She joined the Hawaii Army National Guard, did her time overseas, Middle East. Not exactly a walk in the park. Those deployments, man, they're tough.
Indeed. 2 tours, one in Iraq and the other in Kuwait. And holding the rank of Lieutenant Colonel? That is no small feat, Duke. She chose service over political ambition during those years. That decision, not running for re-election, speaks volumes about her values.
Exactly. Kinda rare these days. Most politicians cling to their seats like their lives depend on it. Tulsi walks away to serve her country. Priorities straight. It's, what we call leading from the front. You know what I mean?
Leading by example. Yes, she did. And at just 21, entering the Hawaii House of Representatives, she wasn't just a participant, she was a trailblazer. The youngest woman to serve in Hawaii's legislature. That speaks not just to ambition, but the representation Hawaii needed.
True. What stood out, though, was that she didn't just focus on, typical politics. Environmental issues, veterans' welfare, stuff that mattered, stuff that connected her with the people. She's down to earth, grounded, real leadership.
And that focus, Duke, aligns with the ancient wisdom that leadership demands service. Her empathy for her community mirrored her discipline from the military. A fitting blend that few possess.
Yeah, and set the stage for her later successes. I tell you, Emeka, whether we're talking battlefield or legislature, she's got this relentless energy. Focused. And that, my friend, makes her rise in leadership no surprise. So here's Tulsi Gabbard, the same leader who's always chosen service over convenience, stepping into the DNI role. A 52-48 razor-thin confirmation just shows the political battlefield she's entering. Divided Senate, divided country, and yet here she is.
Duke, our Igbo ancestors say, when the eagle soars, the ground murmurs. Her confirmation reflects much murmuring, yes, but also resilience. Such narrow victories can embolden one's resolve, especially when tasked with reforming politicized structures like the intelligence community.
Yeah, but it's not just politics. You look at the economic side, budget constraints tightening around the intelligence community. Gabbard's got to work smarter, not just harder. Situational awareness. She needs to see the whole map,
Indeed, situational awareness in every sense. The pestle factors, political climates, economic pressures, even public perception, all require a strategic vision. And her leadership style, rooted in military discipline, gives her an edge in navigating these challenges. But can she regain the trust of a skeptical public?
Public trust, man. That's the tricky part. Folks are fed up with biased intel and weaponized agencies. She said transparency is key, and I think she means it. No fancy talk, no BS, just results.
Yes. Transparency. A sacred word, yet difficult to uphold amidst bureaucratic inertia. It's like maneuvering a freight ship, slow to turn but critical to steer right. Her strategy, as I see it, must prioritize clarity in intelligence assessments.
And cutting the fat. That's another thing. She's got 18 agencies to oversee. Streamlining operations, aligning priorities. It's all about bringing mission focus back into that house. No room for fluff.
Mission focus, precisely. And let us not neglect the technological frontier. Gabbard must ensure that our intelligence remains sharp and adaptive, not just in traditional realms, but in emerging spheres such as cybersecurity. This task will test her leadership profoundly.
You're spot on, Emeka. Cyber is the new battlefield, and we're not talking small skirmishes. It's an all-out war on data, on systems, on national security. Gabbard's got to ensure her team's operating like a well-oiled machine. No excuses.
Execution is indeed critical. Yet, beyond mechanics, there lies a philosophical challenge to untangle intelligence from political webs and re-anchor it to unbiased service for the nation. If she achieves this, she will not just lead, but redefine leadership in this charged environment.
No doubt. It's like a battlefield after a storm. Messy, chaotic, but with the right commander, you can rebuild. Gabbard's got that commander's mindset, focus, discipline, and the will to win. You know, Emeka, when you talk about disciplined leadership and clarity, it reminds me of Tulsi's foreign policy approach. She's non-interventionist to the core, not about throwing weight around globally, but steering with focus and integrity.
Ah, yes, Duke. A deliberate philosophy. Our Igbo people say, "The wise huntsman knows when to hold his arrow." Gabbard's stance challenges the norm by striking a balance between national interest and restraint, though not without criticism.
Right, like that whole meeting with Assad thing. Media roasted her for it, but hey, sometimes you gotta face the enemy to understand the battlefield. Doesn't mean you're hugging them. It's strategy, not submission.
Indeed, Duke. Diplomacy often treads a fine line. She faced backlash, yes, but also respect for being willing to step into uncomfortable territories. And for veterans like us, that boldness resonates. We know decisions often blur in the fog of duty.
Exactly. Speaking of veterans, her programs are no joke. Whenever she talks about the struggles we face, PTSD, reintegration, all that, it doesn't feel like some canned politician line. She gets it.
Yes, Duke. Her understanding springs from lived experience. For instance, her campaigns to address veteran homelessness and mental health demonstrate, more than words can say, her commitment to those who have served. It's this empathy that sets her leadership apart.
Empathy, yeah. But she's also no pushover. Look at how she's engaging the skeptical public. Town halls, direct conversations. She's in the trenches. It's like clearing a path under fire. Slow, risky, but critical.
Ah, precisely, Duke. And her efforts to elevate marginalized voices, reaching out to communities often sidelined in politics, they speak volumes about her vision for inclusiveness. Leadership must stretch beyond the self, beyond the few.
And she's doing that while taking heat from both sides. Tough environment. But man, we've been there. Back in my second deployment, everything looked stacked against us. Bad intel, poor morale. But our CO stepped up. Gabbard reminds me of him. Always in the mix. No excuses.
I see the parallel, Duke. In my years of service, I've learned this truth. Enduring trust is not commanded. It is earned through steadfast action. Gabbard's attempts to bridge divides in this fractured climate, well, that is the work of a visionary leader.
Visionary, sure, and relentless. She's proving that you don't just talk unity, you hustle for it. From veterans to civilians, she's working to rebuild something. Hope, trust, call it what you want. But she's fighting for it, and you can't help but respect that.
Indeed, Duke. And as she navigates the complexities of leadership, perhaps her legacy will echo what our ancestors taught. A true leader leaves no one behind. On that note, it has been a great conversation today. Let us reflect on all this and perhaps plan for future discussions.
You got it, Emeka. And to everyone listening, thanks for tuning in. Stay sharp, stay informed, and we'll catch you next time.